This video assumes you've already seen the films we'll be discussing, so spoilers ahead. The films in question are Bread and Alley, Recess, and Where's the Friend's House. To truly understand Abbas Kiarostami's films, especially his early works, we need to go beyond his individual brilliance. We have to explore the environment that shaped him, Kanun, the Institute of the Intellectual Development of Children and Young Adults, established in 1965. Kanun was more than just a cultural and educational institution. It was the lifeblood of a new wave of Iranian cinema. Kanun aimed to nurture creativity and intellectual growth in children through books, educational films, and workshops. It provided a platform for filmmakers like Kiarostami to experiment and develop their artistic voice. Kiarostami's early work with the Institute included directing short films, such as Bread and Alley and Recess. These films were focused on everyday life and children's experiences, and they allowed Kiarostami to craft his signature minimalist, realistic style. He learned how to convey deep, humanistic ideas while working with limited resources, which became a hallmark of his films. One of his most acclaimed works, Where's the Friend's House, might seem like a simple tale about responsibility on the surface, but in reality, it is deeply existential. This film operates on multiple levels, as a standalone narrative and as part of the broader Coker trilogy. The film opens in a classroom, a setting familiar yet tense, as a teacher walks in and asks the children to present their homework. Two young boys, the film's main characters, quietly take their places in this structured, somewhat harsh environment. At the heart of this story is a question posed by the film's title. Who is searching for their friend's house, and more importantly, who's that friend? The answer is found in the narrative of Ahmadpour, a young boy trying to do the right thing by returning a homework notebook to his classmate, Mohammad Reza Nematzadeh. The issue began the day before. Mohammad Reza had left his homework notebook at his cousin's house, and as a result of past mistakes, the teacher singles him out. Despite Mohammad Reza's explanations, the teacher, embodying the harshness of the educational system, tears his homework apart, accusing him of lying. This moment is especially heartbreaking for Mohammad Reza, who is already visibly shaken, even shedding tears. His cousin, Ali Hemmati, arrives just in time to hand him the notebook. But the damage has been done. The teacher's harshness culminates in a severe warning. One more mistake and Mohammad Reza will be expelled. Through this scene, Kiarostami critiques the rigid and authoritarian nature of the educational system, a recurring theme in his films. He emphasizes how these systems impose emotional strain on children, whose spirits are delicate and easily hurt. In fact, Kiarostami had previously explored similar themes in his short film Recess. In Recess, a young boy named Dara accidentally breaks a window while playing, only to face physical punishment from an unseen authority figure. The stark contrast between the oppressive atmosphere of the school and the joyful release as children run free after dismissal is haunting, illustrating the fear and oppression children face within the school's walls. Where's the Friend's House mirrors these themes, but this time set in a rural, northern Iranian village. When school ends, the children eagerly rush outside, their laughter and playfulness a brief respite from the cold discipline of their school life. Here, Kiarostami introduces us to the deeper bond between Ahmad and Mohammad Reza, as we witness Ahmad's kindness. Mohammad Reza, while running after school, stumbles and soils his pants. Ahmad, without hesitation, helps him clean up, an early hint of the loyalty and sense of responsibility that will drive the rest of the film. The real emotional journey begins when Ahmad returns home. His day-to-day life consists of school, household chores, and the pressure of homework. Yet, as he begins to work on his assignments, he notices something odd. There are two identical notebooks in his bag. One belongs to him, but the other is Mohammad Reza's. Ahmad immediately feels the urgency of his mistake. He knows that if Mohammad Reza doesn't get his homework back, his situation at school could become dire. Yet, Ahmad's pleas to return the homework are met with indifference from his mother, who dismisses his concerns in favor of household duties. In her eyes, this is merely a minor issue in the larger scope of daily life, but to Ahmad, it feels like a moral obligation. Ahmad's persistence speaks volumes about his character. After being repeatedly shut down by his mother, he decides to take matters into his own hands, sneaking out under the guise of running an errand. Ahmad embarks on his quest to return the notebook. His destination, the neighborhood of Poshta, where Mohammad Reza lives. Ahmad's journey through Poshta is both literal and metaphorical. As he navigates the unfamiliar streets, he encounters one of his classmates, hoping for directions to Mohammad Reza's house. Instead, he is given the address of Mohammad Reza's cousin, Ali Hemmati. This misstep signals not only a diversion in Ahmad's journey, but also the larger uncertainties of childhood, the confusion, the detours, and the perseverance required to do what feels right. After much wandering, Ahmad finally reaches Ali Hemmati's house, only to discover that Ali and his father are on their way to Kokir. This forces Ahmad to retrace his steps. The journey back, Ahmad, who had managed to evade his grandfather earlier, is caught this time. His grandfather, acting with the authority of a military commander, sends Ahmad on a pointless errand, fetching cigarettes, even though he already has some. This moment reveals the rigid, almost authoritarian approach to raising children in this society. While Ahmad's grandfather engages in conversation with another village elder, they reflect on the proper way to raise children, offering a revealing commentary on the generational cycle of discipline. This scene deeply connects with Kiarostami's other work, Homework, where Kiarostami, based on the difficulties he faced with his own child doing homework, visits a school and interviews students who struggled with completing their homework. This documentary reveals how family discipline and excessive schoolwork negatively affect children. In this documentary, children admit that their parents do not encourage them, and when they are punished, they are often beaten, especially with a belt. Some children are not beaten by their fathers, but they say that if their fathers did beat them, they would do the same to their own children when they grow up. This process is so damaging that one child cries without reason and cannot stand near the film crew without his friend. Ahmad's grandfather symbolizes this very mindset. He shares a memory of how his father would beat him on the 15th of every month, regardless of whether or not he had made a mistake. This method of disciplining without reason is then passed down, continuing a tradition of raising children to be obedient and unthinking, like soldiers. In this world, children's thoughts and voices are often dismissed, and they are punished without reason. Kiarostami echoes this idea in Homework, where one child reveals that, despite his parents being illiterate, they still physically punish him for not writing his homework correctly. Ahmad's mother, though she doesn't physically punish him in the film, holds a similarly destructive mindset regarding her son's honesty. The dismissal of children's voices is a recurring theme in the film. While Ahmad runs his errands for his grandfather, a business transaction unfolds in the village. A man buys wooden doors from villagers, replacing them with metal ones. When Ahmad returns and tells his grandfather there are no secrets at home, his grandfather refuses to believe him. As the door vendor searches for a piece of paper, Ahmad's pleas are ignored. When Ahmad hears that the door buyer's name is Nematzadeh, he desperately tries to question the man, hoping he might lead him to his friend's house. Once again, Ahmad is ignored. Thinking he is close to his goal, Ahmad chases after the vendor and reaches his house. The film builds a brief but powerful moment of suspense as Ahmad waits, hopeful that this time the door will reveal his friend. When the boy's face is revealed, Ahmed realizes his mistake. But it is a mistake that brings him one step closer to his goal. The boy offers new directions, guiding Ahmed toward the Nemadzadeh he's been searching for. Following the directions, Ahmed arrives at a carpenter's shop. The elderly carpenter claims to know both Ahmed's family and the Nemadzadeh he seeks. Along the way, the old man pauses to splash water on his face. Tired from the journey, he picks a flower and hands it to Ahmed, who carefully presses it into his notebook. Eventually, they reach a house, but the carpenter disappoints Ahmed by leading him to the wrong Nemadzadeh, one who sells metal doors. Not wanting to dishearten the old man, Ahmed hides Mohammad Reza's notebook under his clothes and insists on returning home. The old carpenter, weary and unable to keep up with Ahmed's youthful pace, lags behind as they walk. This story parallels the symbolic replacement of wooden doors with metal ones, a reflection of the changing values in this society. The old carpenter represents the past, someone who made wooden doors by hand, while the new era is represented by the more modern yet impersonal metal doors. As Ahmed tries to hurry away from the old man, he encounters a dog. A moment that mirrors a similar scene in Kiarostami's short film, Bread and Alley. The carpenter, like the hard-of-hearing old man in Bread and Alley, becomes a paternal figure, guiding Ahmed and listening to his concerns. Something Ahmed rarely experiences in a world where adults often ignore him. Back at home, Ahmed is consumed by guilt. He feels the heavy burden of how he will face Mohammad Reza the next day. So overwhelmed by this guilt, Ahmed cannot even bring himself to eat dinner. His father, distracted and preoccupied with tinkering with the radio, remains distant and uninvolved in his son's emotional life, playing no role in Ahmed's upbringing. The next day, the classroom is filled with tension as the teacher prepares to check the students' homework. We can easily place ourselves in Mohammad Reza's shoes, imagining the dread and certainty of impending punishment. But then, just in time, Ahmed arrives, his friend's guardian angel. He reassures Mohammad Reza, telling him that he has written the homework for him. One of the most beautiful and symbolic images in the film are the doors. From the very start of the film, the motif of closed doors appears frequently. The teacher enters the classroom, closing the door behind him, and then immediately shuts the window upon entering. Ahmed is trapped from the very start. In his quest to find his friend, Ahmed encounters many closed doors, always hoping for what lies beyond them. Even the boy Ahmed has been chasing is, at first, hidden behind a door. The elderly man who comes to his aid is a carpenter who makes wooden doors, as if the key to these closed doors lies in the hands of the one who crafted them. Ultimately, when Ahmed sits behind closed doors writing his homework, a strong wind blows and opens the door, as if symbolizing that Ahmed's freedom of mind is carried by this wind. The next day, when the teacher opens the previously shut window, it serves as a final reminder that, despite the rigidity of the adult world, hope always finds a way through. Thank you for joining me in this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned for the final part of this trilogy, which we'll cover in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our content. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.